Okay, so here we have page 12 of the Codex Argenteus. The last page ended off um, basically like does not your father, and then here we have Ufar Himinam for these ins. So does not your father over heavens so you could translate this as the heavens or just heavens. It's dative plural. Uh, Gothic doesn't always like have this sa in all the places where English does. So you, if you're like translating this, you might just have to like insert the word the. And if you're speaking Gothic, that might be something to keep in mind. Is that you shouldn't say sa, or in this case, like the dative plural of sa. Um, So over heaven, feed them. So ins is accusative plural, so them, and then forthith is third person singular, and the one doing it is God or your Father over heaven. And then we have neo use mes ut resans siuth them. So are not you more important, and then this is the R, so I said are not, but the word order is a bit different, so here is you all are them, and this is dative plural, so we're comparing you to them, so you can use the dative one for comparisons like this. So in English, you would say, are you not more important than them? But in Gothic, because we have these cases, we don't need to say then them, though you can, that would be like though, I'm pretty sure. I'm not exactly sure if there's a difference or what that would be, but you can use though for like then, like you're more important than them, but in this case it's just the dative plural. Ithwas iswara mornans mag ana ogana ana wachstu sinana ali alina and so, but who of you is vara? So this is the genitive of the possessive pronoun, so that might be a bit confusing, but it's like um, in this case it means of you, so there might be cases where like you might say like is var like for your um and if you wanted to put that in dative, it would be like isvaramma for like dative singular. But in this case, so we're using the genitive of you, basically. Um, so um, if we take a look at the different forms, we have use for the nominative, iswis for the accusative, and then iswara for the genitive. So it's basically saying of you. And you can do the same thing with another word, like for example, wolves. Um, I'll put it in the plural because use is plural. The singular would be thu, thu. Uh, so we have thu for thou, second person singular, and then thuk, accusative, and the genitive is thena. You wouldn't use like thena or wolves in this case because you can't, say like one of the wolf. That doesn't really, I don't know, maybe it could, but so right here I'm just showing here's the nominative, here's the accusative, here's the genitive. So wolfans is the accusative, and then the genitive would be and there's also like a dative, thus and wolfa. So wolfa, wolfe, wolfan. But in this case, I'm just talking about the genitive plural. So in English, we can say one of the wolves bit me, and in Gothic you can say ens wolfe. I can't remember what bite is, but whatever the word for bite is in the past would be how you translate. So ens wolfe, whatever the word for bite is, I can't remember. Mick. So one of the wolves. So it's of the wolves. And the same one of you would be ens I, would be ens isvara, for one of you bit me. So that's basically what's going on in this sentence. So ith ith was isvara mornans mag ana okan ana wachstu sin ana allina ena. So, but who of you, mornans, morning, mag is able to, ana okan, ana ana okan, to so okan is like to grow or increase, and so we have the verb ana okan, and then it's followed by ana. So you might notice that this ana appears twice. You might be tempted if you're translating something into Gothic to just have one ana. You might think that it's repetitive. But this ana, so like ana okan means to add on to, and then what are you adding it on to? Well, you're adding it on to this or that. So you actually get ana twice, which I mean it's not really something we would say in English. I can't really think of a good equivalent, but and I'm not sure if it always appears twice. It does seem rather repetitive, but in this case it does. So ana wachstu, waxian is a verb that also means to grow. I think waxian is grow and okan is like add or increase. So waxtus would be, if waxian is to grow, then waxtus is growth. So, or like size or height or whatever. Waxtu sienana. So here we have it in the accusative waxtu. The nominative would be like waxtus, but this s actually belongs to the next word, siena, and the form of siena we have is sienana because it's accusative. So this ana, in this case, it's not on like the other ones, but it's the accusative form of sienana, which means one's own. So in this case, their own height. Alina is an L, and Anna is one. So, but who of you morning is able to add one uh, one L onto their own height. So you might think that it would be like second person, because it's like you, but because we're saying who of you, it's actually third person, even though the person we're talking about belongs to you all. So use, or in this case, is vara for the genitive. Jahbiwastios was oh Jahbiwastio Jahbiwastios wasorgeth, and by clothing, what do you are you sad? Um, so sorgan is like sorrow. So like to be sorrowful is what that means, and then it's the second person plural. Gakunneth blomans hetio. Gakunans blomans hethios hueva waxian. So here we have this waxian, and it's in third person plural. So consider the flowers of the field, uh, how they grow. Nich and not arbeidiand work, nich spinnand. So they neither work nor do they spin. Quithuch than iswis thati nich solomon in allama voltho sinama gawasi the six ends these ice. Okay, this is a bit interesting. So we have quitha, but then it's followed by uch, and the uch actually gets rid of the a. So we have quithuch, and I say than then iswas to you that not even Solomon in all his glory, allama wultho, dative of glory, wulthus, sinama, his own glory, gawasi the six way in Cise. Gawasian is to clothe, and then sick, uh, himself in this case, but in generally it's not like it could be like herself or themselves or whatever. Swe as one and these of these. Yarchthande thata hawi hethios Yarchthande thata hawi hethios imadaga wisando, and as that grass of the field today, Himalaya, this day, is like Wisan is to be, and then we have Wisando, so that I guess you would say that's like being. Yachistradaya, oh yes, Yestradagis in Ochen Gelagith, and tomorrow, Yestradagis. Here it's in the genitive. You can like use the genitive for like to say when something is happening. In oven, into the oven, gelagith. Um, this is like lagyan basura, and lagyan is to just lay, so it's laid into the oven. Ruth swawasyith. God so like clothes. Hueva mes isuis litila galovandans. I thought it would be galoviandans. I don't know. Um, hueva, so that could be a typo on my part, or that could just be what it is. I'm not sure. Hueva mes isuis litil galoviandans. Galovandans here. I'll have to check that. How more you little believing. So, like, how more shall we clothe you who believe little? Ne morneth no quithondans hua matiam etho hua drinkam. Don't mourn it, don't mourn now, saying, what shall we eat? Hua matiam etho, or hua drinkam, what shall we drink? Etho hue wasiema, or how shall we clothe ourselves? Al al, and there's no like six, so I just sort of inserted that. But like it's literally with what shall we clothe? Al ok those sokyant. For so ok is for, al is all, just spelled the same if you ignore the fact that it's in a different script. Tata, that, those, like the peoples, sokyan, to seek, except it's they seek, because we have this d at the end. So for all for all that the people seek, the people, um, the people's, uh, I don't know, the word order is a bit confusing, but basically the people are seeking all of this stuff, like what shall we eat or drink or wear clothes. Uh, wetu thana wetu than atta iswar sa ufar himinam thati thoru, um, and knows that, so thana is accusative. Oh, than, sorry. So than is then, atta is a father, so in this case, atta iswar, your father, sa ufar himinam, the one over heaven, thati thoru. So, and your Father in heaven knows all, like, knows what you have need of.